So hello guys. The book I chose to read is called The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. So to start things off, The Glass Castle is a memoir about a young girl's hardships growing up, the trials she went through, and how she broke through her parents' oppression and became the successful woman she is today. Which happens obviously later on the book. That was just a general summarization of her novel. Jeanette Walls, the author and the young girl of the book, tells of how she grew her childhood throughout the story. She starts her novel off with her childhood with a scene of herself as an adult at a present time. This is all happening in chapter 1. She finds her mom scavenging through the dumpster as she rides her way in a cab. She goes back and picks her mother up where she brought her back to her apartment. The mom's character is revealed through her actions and dialogue throughout their discussion. In this chapter, we see her character as an independent, unusual individual with little concern for societal norms. For example, like when she was digging through the trash, Jeanette notes that her mother takes joy in the task, and her face lighting up when she finds something that she actually likes. Her mom is not afraid to speak her mind in her discussion with Jeanette, and by advising Jeanette to accept her own lifestyle, the mom shows that she's aware of her own circumstances and accepts them. Even it means that the difficult life that she's living on the street. After the whole discussion scene with her mother, the story goes back in the past where Jeanette starts to tell her story back when she was just a kid. As I was reading the book, I was wondering what the author meant by the title Glass Castle. But as I kept reading, I realized that it was a metaphor that explains both her family's lifestyle, and it was also a way to show the reader's insight into her dad's character. Firstly, the idea that someday the family will strike it rich and live in a house made entirely of glass, with its own power sources, suggests that faith and desire for nature's stability despite the lack of it in their current lives. Because at this point of her story, Jeanette and her family have been like moving around and constantly striving to live and have enough to just survive on their own. They believe this dream not only because her dad believes in it, but also in hopes that if he focuses on the glass castle, he will be able to overcome his own problems in order to actually make it a reality where he brings his family back from poverty and actually raise them properly. So as I was reading the book, I almost got lost into thinking it was because I almost forgot that the book itself is a true story from the author herself. When I had the mindset of the book being a true story, it made me realize how unfair life could be, especially for Jeanette's case, where she is born into a family that isn't stable at all. She is exposed at a young age where she sees her parents fighting at moments where things were definitely getting out of hand. Completely out of hand. And I for sure have not experienced what she has gone through, but I can definitely see her scenario happening around the world. In cases like in the Philippines, as I've heard a lot of kids are raised in families where they are forced to live in complete nothingness, where the kids themselves have to work their way into creating a brighter future for themselves. And just reading a third of the book made me realize of how lucky I am of being raised where I am cared and well fed by my parents. Living the childhood life like Jeanette's would have been so difficult and hard for me to comprehend. And that's it. Thanks, guys.